NF01. In the first year of Nightfall, a celestial object fell out of orbit, codenamed the Perishing Star, collided with the planet, destroying the old world, sending a massive shockwave, turning the surrounding land into deadly zones and triggering supernatural disasters everywhere. Due to these catastrophes, resources became increasingly scarce. The animosity between various cities, lands and factions only increased. The foreseeable future looked very bleak. The reconstruction of civilization seemed like an unreachable dream. This led to a conference where representatives signed the Nightfall Proclamation, which ushered in the Nightfall era.
Come back to me. Your battle has begun. I will wait for you.
112 years after the Nightfall, this is you. Yes, this beautiful person in front of you is the chief of MBCC, Minos Bureau of Crisis Control, a jail for the most down bad criminals. You wake up in a repair pod, very confused in the middle of a jail riot. I know, it's not your average Monday, not remembering anything, not even your very own name. Woken up by this beautiful, hot but mysterious person nicknamed Suspect R in a very warm, gentle way.
You're finally awake. I've been waiting for you this whole time. You don't look well. Did you have a nightmare?
Yes, I did. The suspicious lady, which radiates super ex-girlfriend energy, was ready to kidnap you. Chief's King, by the way. Your adjutant Nightingale comes to your rescue, showing her inner John Wick.
Where are you going? It's not over between us yet. I won't give up easily. This body, you can just give it to me.
Your ex transforms into you and escapes. Your wife explains to you that you are the chief, the strongest force that can restrain the sinners. While under attack by the mobs, the guard captain and Nightingale buy you enough time to escape to the lowest level where you are supposedly able to find your forbidden powers that lie deep within you. In her final moments, exhausted, drenched with sweat, while fighting off waves of rioters, blushing red, she tells you to awaken it. Awaken your dormant powers, your inner king. Whatever that means. Don't worry guys, it will soon be explained. She pushes you into the elevator while you yell at her, "Don't die, I will be back." The door closes and the last thing you see is her smiling and saying, "Go ahead." Down in the deepest depths where the true sinners lie, or should be if it wasn't for the current riot, you find your lost long daughters, Hela and Hecate.
Ma'am, can you let me out? Those baddies smashed it. I didn't do it. Trust me, ma'am. Please let me out. I begged you so many times. Are you gonna let me out or not? Open the door or I'll strangle you. 3, 2... Ah! You bastard!
Come back. Did Nightingale send you here? Are there new orders? I see. You're the new chief.
Let me out! Bastard! Let me kill her! I'll kill her!
Keep quiet, or it'll be your neck next time. Don't move. It hates when prey struggles. Chief, have you found the shackles? I don't need her order anymore. Stop it, or get killed. You know what to do. Find your shackles and bind me. Follow your instincts. This is why you exist.
No! Stay away from me! No! Bastard! Bastard! I'll kill you as soon as I get the chance.
She can't.
Well, that was a special reunion, can't blame them. It took you forever to bring back the milk. No wonder your daughters turned out this way. They missed you so much. Hey, but at least you got some cool new powers to show off. This time, don't fail to protect them, okay chief? Reunited with Hela, Hecate and now also Nightingale, together the three of you go chase after Suspect R, the sinner shapeshifter. She unleashes her dogs to distract your wife and daughters to buy some special time just for the two of you. You try to shackle her, but fail miserably. And in return, she kabadons you. With her tender fingers, she touches your face, and before she escapes, she gives you a little smile. And so, the riot ends. Reunited with your family, you go on a happy adventure to this city, to a wonderful place called Syndicate, to deepen your bond with your estranged, hopefully creating good memories to last you a life. Sadly, your little trip didn't go quite as planned. You meet a grey-haired girl who attacks you out of nowhere. To your rescue arrives a very shady-looking gangster, Ted, who you should not trust. As you run as far as you can, you hear gunshots and the area descends into chaos and madness. The city is in absolute chaos, explosions everywhere, and even the Legion's commander made an appearance. Too strong to handle, you decide to retreat. Ted causes lots of problems along the way and basically tells you Salva are collecting corpses of monsters and carrying out shady experiments. Salva is an organization that tries to save lives regardless of your past or present affiliations. Gangsters taken in by Salva are turned into armed doctors. Total madness and disasters are everywhere. But when everything seemed full of despair, a little bubble of hope appeared. Amongst this chaos, you managed to share some close bonding time with Hela. When you finally reach the Salva headquarters, you fall unconscious, woken up by a lovely nurse, Anne, and a genius Dr. Iron, the boss of Salva. That's when it finally snapped in your head. You have been helping Ted, murdering innocent doctors, nurses, and good people. How could this lovely nurse and this place be dangerous in any way? Even though they are sinners and harbor special powers, Iron and Anne have been working day and night trying to find a way of solving the mania issue. Curing mania is their big dream. When a person's mania levels go out of control, they turn into corruptors and monsters. Salva and gangsters are non-stop at each other's throat. Gangsters are relentlessly attacking the hospital where Anne and Iron are desperately try to save the little grey-haired girl we met at the beginning. Sadly, it's not going too well. Through twists and turns, you find out the little girl was controlled and manipulated by Ted the whole time. The attack in the beginning was orchestrated by him. Everything was planned by Ted, the whole monster, but that's not even the biggest issue. The most blasphemous sin Ted did is he used and abused our little grey-haired baby girl and worked her to death. He chained her, locked her in a cage and berated her. Her entire life she worked hard for this man only to be humiliated, controlled and made a slave and then thrown away like trash the moment he had no use for her. In her final moments she wanted to be loved, to experience warmth and kindness, to live a normal life, but even that was denied from her. And begged Ted again and again to release her, to stop this madness, to stop using her any further because her mania levels kept rising, but it was too late. She was about to grab our hand, she realized that it was too late and smiled because she was finally free. Anne hugs her lifeless body. Turns out Salva has been collecting corpses in their basement in hopes of one day saving them and resurrecting them. Well, I guess they weren't as innocent as we thought. In the final battle, Iron unleashed her judgment on Ted the medical way, so the day ends. Or does it? Suddenly chased by a girl on a bike with massive chainsaw on her back, you try to escape. Chased down by Hela's jealous girlfriend, you were led to a trap, to the Legion's forces. Surrounded and now kidnapped by the commander of the Legion, Zoya, an S-rank criminal, one of the most wanted sinners on the list. Fierce and powerful, she interrogates you about your powers, leading you towards a place where an inheritance lies. She needs you and she needs your powers. To make you obey her demands, she planted a bomb inside you. The back and forth arguments between the two of you really rises the tension in the air, to the point that she can't endure it anymore and slams you on the ground, pounces on you and holds your hand while staring into your soul. Her eyes were like the vast depths of the ocean, a mesmerizing shade of blue that held the secrets of 1,000 tides. You just simply could not reject her. She didn't stop just there. She pressed her forehead against yours, trying to mark her territory. You could see it in her eyes, her burning passion and violence. The emotions she feels towards you were unquestionable. Zoya shouts, "I will do whatever it takes to have you. You belong to me. Shackle me." Holding hands and venturing down the crypt in hopes of finding the inheritance, while battling hundreds of corruptors, you get hurt.
What the? Which bastard did this to you? Who did this?
Aw, look at Hela caring about you. Down in the depths you meet Horo, Zoya's biggest fan, a tiny girl wearing a gigantic axe of love. There's no one else more obsessed with Zoya than Horo. The only problem is that Zoya's obsession is you and not her. Driven by jealousy, her eyes burned with a fierce shade of red, a manifestation of her envy that smoldered within her. Within even a second, without even a second of hesitation, she attacks you. To claim Zoya back for herself, she swings with all her might. After a fierce clashes of steel, you find out that it was the inheritance controlling Horo's mind, making her go wild. Her skin reddens, her eyes burning, and a demon-like aura starts emanating from her. Her mania levels are reaching critical levels. If not suppressed, she will end up like the previous poor girl. Thankfully, Zoya appears to calm down Horo. No matter how worried Horo is, Zoya reassures her that everything is going to be fine. Horo cries and begs Zoya to run for her life, but she just stands still. The inheritance craves for Zoya. The inheritance wants to devour Zoya. Just use your shackles to bind Zoya, penetrating her inside numerous times.
You're using the shackles on me?
Yes, I am.
Good. Then all that's left to say, don't lose.
Together, powered up, you smash your way through the hordes of controlled terror and take over the inheritance. At the end of the day, you earn Zoya's respect, and the two of you form a stronger bond. Nightingale comes to pick you up and telling Zoya that the higher-ups wish to discuss the business of the inheritance. Zoya would normally never agree to get in touch with the authorities, but meeting you must have changed something in her. Her wish is to change the syndicate. Keylan Square resides in the West District. Massive forces stationed everywhere. Helicopters, tanks and barricades. The police, the FAC and the public security all stationed nearby. This does not look like a peaceful negotiation at all. Even though this clearly is a trap, your wife, Boss Queen Zoya, came alone with no fear inside. She has the biggest balls in this city. What wouldn't she do for you? While the police separate you from her, Zoya assures you everything is going to be fine. In the central hall, they try to frame Zoya, but to no avail, because she is a queen. Some simple threats aren't going to faze her. Burns, the director of the Public Security Bureau, doesn't want to negotiate, but instead orders Zoya to surrender the inheritance. This leads to a massive fight which ends in Zoya's favor. She is simply too strong. She demands to know the truth. Who is behind this? Who is supplying dangerous weapons into the syndicate, causing a massive havoc over there? Burns refuses to tell her. Instead, he mocks her and makes fun of her people, telling her that she is useless and that she can never bring any real change. While mocking her, he suddenly explodes into a mass of filth. Zoya leaps backwards and dodges narrowly the blast. In the wake of the explosion, a man in black rises to his feet, one hand holding a briefcase and the other holding an umbrella to shield himself from the raining drops of filth. He is obviously the real mastermind behind all of the despicable acts happening all over Syndicate in this farce of a negotiation. She charges towards to punch him, but he dissolves into a puddle of ink, leaving behind a weird cube. The cube, or should I say the inheritance, explodes and spawns numerous spikes that penetrate Zoya's chest. Zoya was their target all this time. A large-scale contamination incident breaks out in Keylan Square. Mania crisis level S+. Mania level skyrocketing and approaching the threshold level for a black ring. Purple clouds, purple flame, engulf the city. Every person without any special anti-mania gear powered with hypercubes turns into a corruptor. It's an absolute disaster. Hypercubes, the most valuable resource. Thanks to the shackles, you can feel that Zoya is in big trouble. Without even a moment of hesitation, you leap forward, plunging into the chaos and go where your shackles are guiding you. Your daughters are massively against this idea, but you can't just leave behind your newfound love. Zoya would never abandon you. You refuse to do the same. Time is not on your side. Any moment now, if Zoya gives in, she will be corrupted, and a black ring will descend on Keylan Square, killing everybody. The FAC, Framework Against Catastrophe, is set on killing Zoya to stop this mania madness, but you just can't accept it. That's why you venture deep into this madness in hopes of saving her. You find Zoya. She's still fighting, even though it's making her emotions go crazy. Madness, sadness, anger, jealousy, love, despair, you name it, she's experiencing it. She hasn't given up yet. Zoya is stubborn and doesn't want any help, but you refuse to back down. Even though she yells, "You don't stand a chance, I will not lose, don't touch me, go to hell." You refuse to let her fight alone. You reach out to her, trying to awaken her with the shackles, to no avail. Man in black is still here, manipulating from the shadows, watching from afar, seeing the strong Zoya losing herself, clapping his hands and patting his shoulders for doing such a magnificent job. It's over. Zoya lost. Her maniac sight awakened, a black ring broke out. A massive explosion shattered the surrounding area, sending you flying. You failed to stop her, and thousands died. The legions destroyed. The FAC dead. Innocents turned maniac, separated from Hela and Hecate. Your first job is to find them back at all costs. You lost Zoya, but if you fail to also protect Hela and Hecate, you would never be able to forgive yourself. Everyone is experiencing hallucinations and delusions inside the Black Ring. Their fears are manifested, their weaknesses resurrected, and their hopes shattered. Zoya's childhood is shown, her tragic past, traumatic experiences she had to live through, her reasons why she had to become stronger, her reasons on why she must change the syndicate. The man in black keeps feeding her lies to manipulate her, to turn her into a monster that will destroy the world. The Black Ring is basically a sinner's spiritual world. She sacrificed herself to the ring, so the ring listens to her. She thirsts for destruction and you, and so the ring grants her power. When all hope seemed lost, your romantic ex-wife visits your nightmare. She caresses you and wakes you up. She apologizes for leaving you there and encourages you to never stop moving forward, because that's the way you have always been. Even though she wants to make a laugh, the show must go on. She wipes away your tears and pushes you into the light. One day, our promise will be fulfilled. Now go. Even in the state where the Black Ring broke out and Zoya turned into a monster, you refuse to give up. First, you save Hela and Hecate from their nightmare, caused by mania, and now you will go to where Zoya is. A mysterious blonde driver working for the Whitestone Industries helps you get there, where apparently Zoya is battling an old friend of hers. If the two of you join forces, then maybe she can still be saved. You grab your shackles and yell, "Zoya, wake up!" Through your special powers, you connect into her unconscious state, annoying the living shit out of her. Until she wakes up, you will keep teasing her. "Zoya, you look so weak today. Wake up. Come on, wake up. We don't have time for this. The Legion needs you. Horo needs you. Wake up. Please, Zoya, wake up." No matter how much Zoya tries to hide inside her bubble, inside her comfortable dream, you refuse to stop. You keep on disturbing her, you yell, you shout, you call her. With your extraordinarily persistent will, dispelling the twisted mist, breaking her free from the clinging shadows, and absolute will to fight, you finally bring her back to her true self with these words. "Come back, Zoya. I need you." And so the battle ends. Black Ring crisis averted. You fall unconscious and Zoya gets taken by the mysterious motorbike girl Bai Yi. I would like to give a moment of silence for these heroes who died trying to save Zoya and prevent the disastrous Black Ring. FAC Captain 036 and Horo's brother Earl. Rest in peace.
The end of the week-long Black Ring crisis in the square was confirmed at 1920 last night. Ground Zero has been cleared, all ring activities have ceased, and the city has entered a 2-week blue rain purification period. The first batch of war dead remains have been recovered and buried. The Commander-in-Chief has gone to pay his respects and awarded them first-class hero medals. Sinner Zoya's whereabouts are
Come
unknown.
back, Zoya.
The disbandment of the Legion has been
There's not
confirmed,
much
and
time
some members have
left.
been taken into custody. BR-004 shook the city to its core. Large-scale protests have broken out in West District, whose order management regulations have been suspended, and this city has reclaimed the right to govern West District. The subject of corruption and even treason within official institutions has risen to the forefront of discussion. Paradisos launched an
The chief
accountability
did not
inquiry
commit
thoroughly
treason. She
investigating
was the one who
relevant
destroyed the
departments
Black
such as the
Ring.
City Council,
Your
the Public
suspicions are
Security Bureau,
baseless.
and the
You
FAC.
can't do this to
Yet
her.
during the 7 days of BR-004's existence, as to what happened inside the Black Ring, how the ring came into being, and how it ultimately met its demise, all these questions remain unanswered.
All right, Chief. Let's talk. I know you've hidden a lot of things.
Mami Langley, the boss of the 9th Agency, comes to personally pick you up. She arranges a special meeting just for the two of you. She is so powerful, even the annoying higher-ups who want to keep you locked up can't do anything. They believe you are a traitor, but Langley doesn't. She wants your powers to solve BR-001, the second Black Ring recorded. Because you managed to solve the Black Ring at Keylan Square, dubbed BR-004, she has high hopes for you, and trust me, you don't want to disappoint Mami Langley. You just spent facing a black ring not long ago, and now you have to dive deep into another one? Like they say, there is no rest for the wicked. Your precious daughter Hecate is massively against it, but you try your very best to reassure her it's going to be alright. Here is where you get to meet the very first publicly announced S-rank sinner, Hamel. She's the Zoya of this place, basically. The owner of Carnival. The Hamel in black here is not the real Hamel though, just an imitation of the real one. Phantom Hamel in short. She just wants to be loved and play around, but instead Langley bullies her. Your dearest wife Nightingale calls Langley and demands you back. She doesn't want any more bullying and interrogation to happen to you, but like Hecate, you calm her down. You reassure her it's going to be alright. I will solve this black ring crisis and prove my innocence to the world, then we can go back to being a happy couple. She reluctantly agrees, but you can hear it in her voice. It pains her massively. She almost lost you back at BR004, and now you return to another black ring? Her biggest fear is you disappearing from her life. Her heart aches whenever you are in danger. Poor Nightingale. She is always worried about you. Seriously, buy her some flowers and chocolate, will you? Hela and Hecate have grown so close to you, they refuse to leave your side, and so the three of you venture into another hell. Well, that's what you had expected, but the truth is, the moment you got close, the place turned into a happy, colorful and loud carnival with singing and dancing. The monsters over there don't even want to kill you. The corruptors, dressed like clowns, mascots, only desire Hamel. They want to hear her singing, dancing. They want Hamel to be there for them, forever, for an eternity. Honestly, can't blame them. Who wouldn't want Hamel to dance for them? She is precious. After numerous tries trying to break through the hordes of puppets, you reach the real Hamel. The truth is then revealed to you. Hamel has created this illusionary carnival to contain all these corruptors, to protect the outside world. She has been dancing, keeping them in check for 23 years, alone in this hellhole. She has been dancing day and night. Hamel, an S-rank sinner, is so strong, she's been keeping the Black Ring crisis under control alone. Hamel, oh Hamel, alone in this world, dancing for monsters for an eternity, keeping harm far away from the innocent citizens, trying to soothe the pains of the victims who turned into corruptors due to the mania outbreak. No wonder they only desire Hamel. Hamel only wants to protect everyone. Hamel is an angel. Hamel is our goddess. Hamel is precious. Phantom Hamel grows jealous over the real Hamel. Phantom Hamel wants to be adored, loved, desired like the real one. She drains the real Hamel's power. The illusionary carnival starts to disappear, and the corruptors go berserk. Pain, suffering, insanity starts to take them over. It's a gruesome battle. Mental attacks, phantom attacks. Phantom Hamel's power grows stronger and stronger. Each minute counts. The longer the fight takes, the harder it becomes. In the moment of vulnerability, you distract her using your seduction skills, which many sinners would rank S-class. Phantom Hamel is so lonely, born alone in this madness with no one to guide her. Sadly, the sins she committed can't be excused, and so you put her out of misery. With Phantom Hamel gone, the war is not yet over. 30,000 corruptors are about to leak outside the Black Ring, and that is a huge problem, since it will cause a massive catastrophe on a national level that the FAC is not ready to handle. It would basically spell doom for this city. Hope seemed lost, but the real Hamel awakens from a slumber, and with her last bits of power left, she dances and dances, guides the hordes of monsters towards the lake, where she sacrifices her life to seal the unending army of terror. Such a sad ending, a tragic ending for a hero, is not something you can accept. You refuse fate that dark to befall on Hamel. Before the final sealing is completed, you jump straight into the lake, desperately trying to find Hamel before you run out of oxygen. With your last bits of strength, you desperately try to grab Hamel's hand. Hamel, you don't belong here, she smiles. It's okay. I'm happy dancing for them. She sends a massive shockwave pushing you out of the lake, and as she seals the lake, you promise to one day come back and save her. You fall down to the knees, crying, because you failed to save Hamel. 6 months go by. You visit the West District, the Drifter camp, in search for clues. clues to find the source of mania, to prevent future Black Rings appearing and to destroy the Parma organization that is lurking in the shadows, causing massive havoc. Drifter Camp, back in the day, it was a slum, poor and on the brink of disappearance. But after the gangsters got wiped out, that solved many of their issues. They didn't have to pay extraordinary massive taxes anymore, they weren't robbed of their money, and finally they could invest into their future, and so they did. Nowadays it's a surprisingly advanced city with lots of stuff going on, but due to the new gangs arriving and having very unreliable authorities, the syndicate have lost trust with the public bureau. Arming themselves to protect, a huge tension started to rise between the east and west. Well, between the Rustfire and the executives. You are there to solve the mania crisis, but they view you very unfavorably. The one they trusted, the one they believed in, the one who brought hope to their miserable life, Zoya, the commander of the Legion, is now gone, and they believe you were the one who tricked her into a trap. You were the one who backstabbed her and led her to her death. The Legion massacred and Zoya Earl Horo assassinated. Of course, that's not the truth, but you can't reveal this sensitive information. They think you're just a lapdog for the higher-ups, enemy of the people. Chief, you just can't catch a break. They gang up on you and force you to their knees. Since they're just ordinary people, you can't use your shackles, neither do you want to hurt them. Bang, you hear a gunshot and now you're dead. Or are you? Special Agent Rust from the 9th Agency came to the rescue using his big brain move, faking your death in front of everyone, and now you wake up inside a coffin, ready to be cremated. Insanely high risk, high reward play. Thankfully it ended well, but since no one expected it, Hecate and Hela went on a rampage, thinking you died, so saving them was a tad difficult for our special agent. He somehow managed to subdue them. Due to this move, he must stay hidden to not raise suspicions, and so you are left alone to deal with the upcoming problem, until Hecate and Hela arrive to save you from Dudu singing. Dudu, meet our cute little Dudu. Yes, that's her name, and she's a banger of an instrument player. Behind her cheerful facade she displays, she wishes the best for Syndicate, Drifter Camp. She annoys you and takes you on a tour around the camp to show you stuff that could potentially help Drifter's camp. Due to no one high in authority willing to listen and help the poor people here, they are falling into hopelessness. But you are willing to listen, to help, to act, and so her hope rises. She believes in you, Chief. That's why she's been putting so much effort into showing you around like a proper guide. You also meet KK, a member of the Whitestone Industries, and a sinner you managed to capture way back in Salva Chaos. KK is a sweet girl with a mama aura, who is desperately trying to save the Whitestone Industries from her girl boss failure, Bai Yi. Bai Yi has managed to get so massively in depth, it's unbelievable. Commissioned by Nightingale to show you around and give you a helping hand. Before her capture, she used to live here in the Drifter's camp. Due to Bai Yi, massive debts accumulated. Everyone is too busy asking KK when they are going to get back their money, and because of this, she is of no help. She just can't. She's being bothered. I mean, I can't blame the people, okay? Oak Casket, a very dangerous mother who wishes to take your soul. A woman who does not lean towards any faction and stays neutral. All she wishes to do is guide the lost to the afterlife. Her sinner powers give her a power to listen to their final obsessions. She is the gravekeeper, the one who all believe can talk to the dead even though she can't. Or can she? For some reason, she gives you a little preferential treatment, which surprises Dudu. A little warm kiss on the cheek and a cute present along the way. She sends you with a happy smile. The tension between Drifter's camp, Special Forces, Rustfire, and the Reconstruction Executive Committee boils down to unbelievable levels of no return. The fight starts, armored vehicles rush in, and an intense battle starts to rain down. Donald, the leader of the corrupted police force, unleashes a monster tank on a district of poor people. FAC special tank used against corruptors in this sea, aka BR000, the very first Black Ring recorded, which he brought over to deal with normal citizens of the Drifter's camp. Unbelievable. Donald wants to take over Drifter's camp, but Rustfire will not give it to him for free, and so the war begins. Which doesn't last long, because let's be real, Hela and Hecate are super strong, and now they're dealing with a machinery and not living human beings. They don't have to hold back anymore. They don't need to. Okay, before they had to, but now they can just crush the living shit out of the special tank. The entire Drifter's camp looks in utter shock. They never realized how powerful you were. I mean, what can I say? You get strong after having to deal with 2 Black Rings in a row. Getting beaten up by some folks in Rustfire would be weird. Julian. Meet Julian, the architect of the Drifter camp, de facto the leader of Rustfire. He apologized for letting you go through a very uncomfortable time. They had to test you where you stand. Sadly, they sent a kid who wasn't ready to handle such a big task. But all the capable people are dead, and the only ones left are angry kids fueled by hatred. The corpus you encounter just might be the strongest one yet. Sneaky beaky, no one can detect it, but thanks to the help of Oak Casket, you dive into the forbidden world to find the truth, but that comes with lots of unwanted side effects, or well, risks to be more precise. Taken into the afterworld, you fail to awaken, making your sinners realize you died. You demanded something from death, and death has been granted. In return of seeing the forbidden, you experience the feelings of true death. Full of hopelessness, you fall into the abyss only to be awakened by your lovely daughters. Not even a moment hesitation, you hug them tightly and cry a mountain of rivers. Oak Casket played a little prank on you. She's indeed a very dangerous S-rank sinner. Even though you shackled her, you can't shake off the newfound feelings of worry. Created scary illusions to give you advice for the future. Value your life, Chief. Not much to say. Chief is Chief, and valuing your own life is, well, good luck explaining that to Chief. Chief is a special breed, alright? You are special, alright? You never miss a moment to create a crisis for your family. The amount of hand tissue Nightingale had to use to hide her watery eyes, the number of pipes Hela destroyed in frustration, and the amount of near heart attacks Hela Hecate experienced. Chief, the ultimate heartbreaker. Anyway, just a moment later, Drifter's camp burst into a massive fire because Corpus has gone wild. This time, you manage to kill Corpus before a black ring emerged. You make a deal with Oak Casket. She gives you firepower to kill Corpus, and in return, your death life will belong to her. Kinky. The greatest happiness she could have ever experienced. Your body now finally belongs to her. Or well, to be precise, once you die. A huge victory is what I want to say, but many died. Homes destroyed, loved ones corrupted. Hecate's nightmare got beaten to a pulp and she fell into hopelessness, despair. Julian finally managed to crack a joke at the end of this hellish nightmare. Many died. It's a bittersweet victory. Ray, also known under her pen name Raven, is a special individual, right? Listen, I love her. Listen to her amazing poets. I love those who struggle in the dark. I love their souls that are torn by despair. I love their eyes that are washed with tears and how they shine after suffering, pain, and torment. Tragic, dramatic, and brimming with passion. They cling into the faintest sliver of hope and plunge into the darkness. The fury sparks with their dreams about the drops in the ocean to be forever devoured by the darkness. How can you not fall in love with her? The way she dramatizes the truth, spices it up for everyone. Raven, you have my utmost respect. Is what I want to say, but it's a double-edged sword. Raven shamelessly writes and spreads propaganda to rile up the people for the cause, even little children, inciting a bunch of delusional fools to die. Shit, no wonder she's an S-rank criminal. Big danger. We need to shackle her too. Her real motive and her means of achieving it. What a scary person. Man, I need to learn from her to create better storytelling, engaging content. Chief, Hela, Hecate, and the armed combatants of the Rustfire, including Raven, go with you deep underground near this sea to find the other half of the corpus body in BR002. BR002 and BR000 are very close to each other, even to the point of their mania overlapping. This place used to be a hypercube mining area before all hell broke out. When the Black Ring descended, sadly it's too dangerous and now you order a retreat. Crash, the legendary kid hero of the Homeless Association who protects the kids from the shadows. Known as the Guardian, her little friends got riled up by Raven, and now Crash came for answers. Turns out two of them have an interesting teacher-student love dynamic. Raven's silver tongue as a poet and writer is especially very dangerous, but thanks to that she managed to stop Crash, at least for now. Hecate, all I will say is we must protect Hecate at all costs. Do you hear me, Chief? Don't you dare let anything or anyone hurt our baby daughters. She's so precious. I will not spoil you what happened, but just look at them. Look at them. Playing through the beginning of Arc 6, Oblivion Depth has been a roller coaster of emotions. I want somebody to hug Hecate and Hela, please. I want someone to hug me. Goddamn, I'm too emotionally invested in them. I'm too emotionally invested in MBCC. Aisno, you better give everyone a happy ending at the end of the day or we riot. They ran through so much suffering at a young age. Goddamn, is this a dark world. Sorry, I got a little bit off track. Let's jump back to the main story. Chief leaves her daughters behind to embark on a solo mission without telling them. Classic Chief. She gets in big trouble, absolutely smashes the cowardly corpus monster, but everything goes to hell. Turns out there's this hidden mastermind called X, behind the scenes tricking and using everyone as their mere plaything. Syndicate. Rustfire, executors, and the gangs all are just tools for this person's ambitions. Rustfire members try to rescue Chief before it's too late, but they all get wiped out besides Taron. When Taron finally reached Chief got shot, fell into a coma, and is on the brink of death. Shackler of Sinners, the destroyer of Black Rings, the shepherd of this city, Nightingale's lover, mother of 2 daughters and MBCC stud, falls into the midnight. All hell breaks loose. Under Julian's orders, they use Chief's body for power, turn her into a martyr, and wage absolute hell against the East Side. Sinners shackled by Chief fall into disarray. Pain, suffering, despair attacks them. They can feel their bond towards Chief, their shackles getting weaker and weaker. Hecate falls into pure despair of no return. Blinded by her emotions, she only wants to see Chief, to the point of not even noticing Hela dying beside her. Donald, who we thought was evil, not only survived, but helped Hecate snap back into reality. Donald, who are you? On whose side are you really? So many mysteries untold. Crash and Raven desperately try to find and save Chief from Rustfire, because Rustfire has turned freaking evil. Once they obtained mania and turned into pseudo-sinners, they went mad, crazy, hungry for power, abducting and holding Chief's body hostage. Once allies now turned enemies, everything has gone to shit. Crash manages to find Chief, but the battles have worn her out. Just when she was about to die, Raven sacrifices her life to save Crash. Raven, the teacher, in her final moments, passes down her poet to her most favorite and cute student, Crash. Sayonara. She bids farewell as she bursts into drops of ink. Civil war between East and West. Raven missing in action. Zoya missing in action. Hamel missing in action. The Legion almost wiped out. FAC pushed back. Corpus of BR-002 fused with Julian, who is emotionally broken, to create a bigger black ring than BR-002. MBCC in shambles. Hela on the verge of death. Hecate mental crisis, Nightingale nowhere to be seen, and Chief in a coma. 6 months go by and we see a hospital bed where a medical machine makes a little beep and the curtains close. Wow, Path to Nowhere is freaking amazing, guys. I had to skip a lot of content to not make this video an hour long, but I hope you managed to get the idea of the story. It's so much fun, always keeping you at your toes. There are also special event stories and they are way more lighthearted compared to the main one. The main one is a depressing roller coaster, but an amazing one. It's such a nice blend of stories when you play both, and I haven't even mentioned the interrogations, which are little stories worth telling in themselves. You must go and experience it for yourself. Trust me, it's an unforgettable roller coaster of emotions. You will feel sadness, happiness, loneliness, and sometimes your face will be as red as a tomato. Aisno, thank you for creating such an amazing, fun game with memorable characters. Can't wait to see what the future holds. Thank you everyone for watching. I hope you had a wonderful time like me. Feel free to like and subscribe for more content, and hopefully I'll get to see you next time too. Autumn out.